Good morning. Like and subscribe if you realize that truth is knowledge and you seek knowledge and an understanding of the world that revolves around you. Do not confuse my words with arrogance. I speak to you confidently, and I am going to attempt to show you the difference between confidence and arrogance. Let me begin by explaining to you what a patent is and how a patent is proof of inferiority. A patent is the basis of capitalism, taking credit and making a profit off of what you yourself was incapable of doing or inventing. Understand this. A person who can build something, create something, or do something is superior to the person who cannot do it. A patent was created to take advantage of the creator by the person who is inferior. And this is where you get the word capitalism from, because capitalism means to capitalize. It means to capitalize off of someone else. And they call capitalism competition. Capitalism is not competition. It is thievery. It is arrogant thievery. It is taking credit for that which you cannot do and profiting off of it. And when you profit off of someone else's work, it is thievery, whether you come up with a law to legalize it or not. And if you come up with a law to legalize it, then you are a liar. You have created a law that allows you to lie. So we should not be surprised by historical lies such as Columbus discovered America when Native Americans are here. A liar will always lie. And a lie creates arrogance. And from the lies that were told, we get what? We get white supremacy, a delusion that white people created everything, even though they admit not creating everything, which is a form of hypocrisy, which is better described as delusion. And delusional people are insane. Can you recognize the logical pattern of what I just said? Don't believe me. Think for yourself if you are capable. But you can only think for yourself when you do not fear truth. Let me give you an example. Benjamin Banneker designed Washington, D.C. Black men, carpenters, with masonry, and some were slaves and some were free men, built Washington, D.C., designed and built it. White people take credit for it. Am I lying? If you fear truth, this is not the channel for you. This channel is named Ministry of Truth. Prior to this video, I made 2 videos on the art of listening. Listening with a clear mind is spiritual in nature because it allows you to recognize truth in the moment. And truth is not to be judged. Truth is not to be judged. It is to be understood. Once it is understood, then you must reason, use your thinking processes to decide whether or not it is true or not. And you do that by looking for facts. You see, white supremacists are delusional. That's why they created CRT. They fear the truth. Some say they lie intentionally because they don't want to hurt their children's feelings. So they lie intentionally. But what do they replace it with? They teach 10-year-olds sex education. Children that haven't even reached puberty have no idea what they're talking about. This is something that a pedophile would do. Teach a kid 10 years old sex education, homosexual education. It is delusional. It is wrong. However, when you realize that a patent is a lie, then you know that basically everything that comes from this country is going to be a lie. That's why they teach people Columbus discovered America, but they also admit that Native Americans were here. Therefore, they are what? They are delusional. And people that are delusional are insane. We live, understand this, Hebrew Israelites, or you may call yourself African Americans. America is an insane, delusional society based on capitalism, which is the stealing of ideas from the inventors. And if you have to steal inventions from inventors, it means that you are inferior. You are inferior. And you are also arrogant to try to make a lie the truth. And when you add arrogance with a lie to make it the truth, you are delusional. And if you are delusional, you are insane. Alexander Graham Bell did not invent the telephone. Thomas Edison did not invent the light bulb we use today. A black man invented it. His name was Louis Latimer. he worked for them. And now, with the help of the internet, we can research and find out who Lewis Latimer is. But the damage has been done to those who do not see truth. Christianity is a lie. They take parts and bits of the truth, and then they arrogantly lie about it. Jesus, which is really pronounced Jesus, was not a white man. He had hair like lamb's wool, which means it was white, which means it was probably gray. He was up in age, and his feet were the color of burnt bronze or copper, which means he was black like me. But see, capitalism is an admission that we're lying. And capitalism comes from what word? Capitalize. And to capitalize means to take advantage of someone or something. Patent is the perfect example of capitalization. Capitalizing off the work and the creation of those who are superior to you. You see, white supremacists are inferior. This is why they get upset when they see a black person, because it is like looking into the mirror of their lies. They have to, when they look at black people, they have to face the truth of their inferiority. And I've already proven that white supremacy causes a delusion, and delusional people are insane. So when they see a black person, the truth smacks them in the face. And in order to maintain their delusion, they attack the truth. Hebrew Israelites, African Americans, we are the truth that they hate and cannot stand to see because they cannot stomach it. Let me explain how capitalism works. If you create anything, it will cost money to reproduce it on a large scale to sell it. If you do not have the means to buy the resources, if you do not have the means to hire the workers, to build the factory to produce what it is you created on a large scale, it is hard to profit off of it unless you can get a loan from the banks. But the banks are owned by plutocrats. Now, back in the 1920s, black people, who are the inventors of everything, we had Black Wall Street, and we had 140 black banks, and they sold penny stocks because that's the money that poor people had, pennies. But those pennies add up. And with the help of those black banks, black inventors could get financing to buy the resources, to hire the workers, to create their inventions on a large scale and sell them. You see, most of the inventions by black people, Caucasians, did not realize these things would be profitable because they did not have the foresight. They did not understand how these things could be used. And in the 1920s, we had 140 black banks, and we were taking control of the United States monetarily and economical. So what did they do? They bombed the black banks. They rioted and destroyed our black cities and buried them underneath lakes. And this led to the Depression of the 1930s. The destruction of black cities and towns in the 1920s led to the Depression of the 1930s. This allowed white supremacists to satisfy their arrogance. Let me tell you about the Palace of Versailles, a beautiful place. But the people who lived there and walked up and down the hallways, they didn't build it. They didn't even take baths. The place stunk, and they sprayed themselves with perfume. They emptied their bedpans right out the window. They were arrogant. They remind me of what happened January 6, 2021, when they stormed the Capitol building. Understand something. When you build something and you're proud of it, you don't destroy it. But you see, Benjamin Banneker designed Washington, D.C., and slaves and free black men built it. So deep down in our black genetics, we will not destroy that. But arrogant Caucasians, who are Neanderthals, went into the building to prevent the vote. But what they ended up doing was smearing urine and feces all over the place. What does that have to do with stopping the vote count of the Electoral College? Nothing. It was arrogant. You see, arrogance is inferiority. When you stand up to arrogance, it takes confidence. Do not confuse arrogance and confidence. White supremacists are arrogant. Racists are arrogant. People who stand up to them are confident. And they're confident because they know what? They know the truth. Truth is intelligence. The patent law is ignorance. It represents ignorance, and it represents inferiority. And it represents capitalism in its nakedness. And as I've already said, capitalism is to capitalize on what you cannot do or create because you are inferior. Two young high school black women solved a mathematic problem that has puzzled Caucasian mathematicians for 20 or more years. Don't believe me? Look it up if you are not afraid of the truth, which is factual. Like and subscribe, and have a wonderful day. May God bless us all.